Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and the new Nigeria is certainly possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, I want to bring you the breaking news of what is happening in Nigeria, precisely in Rivers State, as the three-man House of Assembly has just confirmed the commissioner nominee of Governor Fubara. As we know, only 3 men. What are the constitutional implications? This is the announcement to the public about this very particular event. This is coming from the Rivers State House of Assembly, who is inviting all the commissioner nominee for screening and confirmation as a member of the Rivers State Executive Council, as provided by Governor Fubara. They are inviting Dagogo San today, being Monday 13th of May. So this is the invite for 10. And the venue is the government house that they call the Hallowed Chamber, Rivers State House of Assembly Auditorium. Now, coming back on the issue of things that has been happening in Rivers State, we have so much that has gone down in Rivers State that we want to start the explanation. But before I get into this very explanation of what is happening in Rivers State, let me also advise on how these things are playing out constitutionally and in the court. But here to discuss these issues with me is Divine.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on today's live episode. I'm so glad to have you here and Happy New Week.
Yes, so this is a new week, but let's get down to what is happening in Rivers State as it's happening now. Yes, this current things that are happening in Rivers State is as a result of the rigged election of 2023. We all know that. So in as much as we may not pity Fubara and the Wike, the Rivers people are suffering, and we need to be mindful of that, because wherever corruption plays a very serious role, the outcome is what will be happening. So we don't pity both of them on what is going back and forth, but let's start with the current things as it is. Let me explain it. So some of you who are asking serious questions across our different platforms will understand. So the current LG chairman of Rivers State are expected to bow out because of their tenure expiration on June 17th. But the Rivers State House of Assembly, loyal to Wike, passed the amended LG bill, which will keep these LG men in office for the next 6 months after their tenure expiration. That is tenure elongation now. Now, Governor Sim should naturally conduct local government elections to replace the outgoing chairman, but he's not interested in doing that. And it is likely that he will appoint LG caretaker chairman to replace this 23 LG chairman in Rivers State. So in order to be safe, Governor Sim has again activated a functional House of Assembly like he successfully attempted the last time with Edison, that is the current chief of staff, as the then speaker. The major thing this function did as at that time was to pass the 2024 budget for him. Now that was a success for him. This time around, he has only 3 loyal assembly members, just three people, and he has made Victor Jumbo the new speaker, while Sokari Goodboy acts as the majority leader. The last person is just an ordinary member in the 3-member House of Assembly. The question is, how constitutional is this? 2 things are expected to happen in the coming weeks will be the tussle with the LG chairman, who are insisting 6 months after the expiration of their tenure on the June 16th, and likely announcement of new commissioners. And that is what is happening today. 2 commissioners had earlier, as you know, resigned after their deployment by Sim Fubara. Meanwhile, everyone is still waiting for Wike's reaction. A media chat looks very eminent. What is your take on this? You know, Wike is always of the, paying media houses, sit down with them, continue to deceive the general public because he wants to retain his position in FCT.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, particularly because I know that his reaction is just in the next couple of days. We expect to see him in a media chat where we know he's probably going to sponsor these people to come so he can tell them what he has to say. And so we know that this is what he has to do. But I'm really just worried about the constitutionality of this thing. Like, what is, how constitutional is it that Fubara has just 3 people that is going to be sitting to, pass laws in the state as State House of Assembly? So I think we have to look at the constitutional implications of this particular act. Is it backed by law to have just 3 people? Because mind you, this is the legislative arm of the state governments, right? And so this is meant to represent an entire group of people, different local governments. And the fact that we have people who their tenures have expired or is going to expire in June 17, and these people are actually planning to elongate their this thing is unconstitutional. I think that one is very unnecessary, because if you're out of the a seat, you should allow an election to take place. But the fact that they passed a law to elongate it, what exactly is the elongation process?
Let's even talk about these constitutional implications. As you know, the court pronouncement is not necessary in vacation of seat of a defecting lawmaker in Nigeria. That is certain. But let me take you to the script of Christopher Udemezuwa credits. One thing that Section 1091G of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amends, it says that a member of a House of Assembly shall vacate his seat in the House if being a person whose election to the House of Assembly was sponsored by a political party, he becomes a member of another political party before the expiration of the period for which that House was elected, provided that his membership of the latter political party is not as a result of a division in the political party of which he was previously a member, or of a merger of 2 or more political parties or functions by one of which he was previously sponsored. Now, in Section 1092 of this Constitution, in quotes, the Speaker of the House of Assembly shall give effect to subsection 1 of the sections. So however that speaker or a member shall first present evidence satisfactory to the House that any of the provisions of that subsection has become applicable in respect of that member. End of quote. Now, on 12th December 2023, court confirms Edison Ehie as authentic Rivers Assembly Speaker. That was published in Guardian newspapers and in quote Guardian.ng. On 14th of December 2023, Fubara backed Rivers Speaker declares seat of 27 defected lawmakers vacant. That was also published in Premium Terms .ng. Now, I can't see anywhere in the Constitution or where court has any role to play before seats of defecting lawmakers could or will become vacant. Very, very interesting parts of this. Now, meanwhile, the following appears to be not in doubt. 1. 27 lawmakers are defected to another party on 11 December 2023. 27 Rivers PDP lawmakers defect to APC, in quotes, is in Punch.com. That is in Punch newspapers. Now, there was no division reported at the national level of their own political party, the PDP, as of that very time and date, that they defected to the APC. And by virtue of an order of a competent court of law, Edison Ehie was the Speaker of the 13th as at 13 December 2023, when the seats were declared vacant between the Speaker, Honorable Edison Ehie. That is by the Speaker Edison Ehie. As the Speaker, Honorable Edison Ehie declared vacant the seats of these 27 members who had defected to APC. Honorable Edison also, as the Speaker, reportedly later wrote INEC to conduct elections to fill the vacant seats. Rivers Speaker writes INEC seeks conduct of fresh election in 25 constituency. That was the headline as at that time. It was all over. Now, whether INEC listened to conduct by-elections or not, and pending when INEC would conduct the by-elections, the declaration by the Speaker, based on the defection, appears to have rendered the seats vacant. Further to this, the Speaker had done what he should do by notifying INEC and inviting INEC to conduct fresh elections to fill the existing vacancies. The ball is now in INEC's court. Meanwhile, the business in the House of Assembly have to proceed with the remaining members of the House pending when INEC conduct the by-election. You see section 102 of the Constitution. But before I get into that very section 102 of that very Constitution, let's even have what the Silk Femi Falana has to say yesterday about all of this. You will see that what I have said about the Constitution is also intended with what Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, positioned in the public space as at yesterday at Channels Television. Let's take a listen to that.
Your view, first and foremost, on these Rivers political crises. Give us an understanding. So we have about 4 of the pro-Fubara, pro-governor of Rivers State lawmakers. And we have, on the other hand, the 25 who are on the other side, who are the pro-Wike lawmakers in the House of Assembly, and all of the drama that are played out. Underlining all of this is the fact that if there is an impeachment proceeding to be instituted or carried out on the governor, we saw the emergence of the factional speaker out of the 4, and that those will be asking the question, who is the real speaker? From the point of view of the law, what is your assessment, Ms. Falana?
I think the matter is already in court. I think a couple of days ago, the High Court sitting in Port Harcourt granted another of injunction restraining the 25 lawmakers from parading themselves, as members of the Rivers State House of Assembly on the ground that they had decamped and thereby for now have forfeited their right to be legislators. I think what will be required of them is perhaps to go to the court and join issues. Before now, they were threatening impeachment. And of course, the governor was likely to have challenged their local standard to begin impeachment proceedings since they are deemed in law to have lost their seats. Frankly speaking, I think they were not properly guided or advised. Because unless you can show or demonstrate that there is a division in a political party that sponsored your election, you cannot remain in any legislative house if you decamp or cross to another party. Because the whole idea is that the Constitution set out to ban or prohibit political prostitution on the part of legislators in Nigeria. So as of today, there is a court order restraining the, I think 25 of them from parading themselves as legislators in that state, and the speaker from parading himself as the speaker of the House. That is the law today. So I do hope that those who are affected by the order would like to urge the court to have another look at the case. However, it may be very difficult to persuade the court to allow them to remain in the legislative house unless they are prepared to go back to the people and have their mandate, renewed by the people. So that is the position of the law.
So, in all,
and the Supreme Court has made this point clear in the case of Abegune and Labour Party. You cannot, on your own, decide that there is a division in a party, and it doesn't mean a division in a local government or in a state. it has to be a division down the line at the national level. That is the position of the law. The 25 lawmakers who defected have lost their seats. They've lost their right to remain members of the House of Assembly. That is the law.
But
the case of Abekunde and Labour Party,
yeah,
the Supreme Court made it clear, that you cannot become and then remain members of a legislative house in Nigeria unless you can show that there is a division in your party. Today, the PDP is one.
So until INEC conducts the by-election, we have seen what the Silk there said, Femi Falana. You may not agree with him, but we do agree with him to a certain extent on what the Section 102 of the Constitution says. Now, until today, that declaration by Speaker Edison Ehie has not been reversed by the Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly. Can it even be reversed by the House? No provisions in the Constitution for reversal of such of that declaration. Now, we saw yesterday where one of the great seniors who just spoke right now strongly that mere defection does not render the lawmaker's seats vacant. And I asked myself, even if Section 1091G was not self-executory as the learned senior argued, had the Speaker not given effect to the provisions of Section 1091G as required by the Constitution, thereby executing it, whereupon the seats of the 27 members has been become vacant in the eyes of the law? How else does one want the provision of Section 1091G to be given effect? Question: does INEC delay in conducting by-elections to fill the vacancies created by the defection affect the fact that in law their seats are already vacant? Question that needs to be answered. I saw also another opinion that the court must declare the seats vacant before the seats can become vacant. With due respect, I don't think that is what the law says. The Constitution does not say anywhere that a court of law must make a declaration before the seats of defecting members of a legislative house will become vacant upon such a defection. The Constitution has given powers to the Speaker of the House of Assembly to declare effect seats vacant. And irrespective of how Honorable Edison Ehie was elected the Speaker, the court has upheld the said election, but temporary, giving the said Speaker and the remaining Assembly members the go-ahead to conduct the business of the House. It was after the green light from the court that Edison Ehie-led House went ahead to declare vacant the seats of the defecting members. A court order remains binding and effective until and it is set aside. Of course, I can quote you in the military governor of Lagos State versus others. I can go ahead also and tell you Chief Emeka Odumegwu and others, 1986, you could go and check them out. Now, I also see, we can also check out Adebayo versus Johnson, that is 1969. And several other cases that stipulate the same thing. More recently, Shomole versus and others versus Federal Government of Nigeria and others, 2004. Now, if there was a court order validating the actions of Edison Ehie-led House at the time the House declared vacant the seats, can one validly argue that the seat has not been declared vacant? Now, by the way, let one advert one's mind to the role of corporate governance, especially relating to majority rule and minority protection. What happened when those acting illegally or committing a breach of the law are in the majority? Because right now we're talking about the three men that are actually in this House of Assembly. And I can't reasonably be expected to make actions against, they are not expected to make actions against themselves for purposes of giving effect to the legal consequences of their illegal action. Which situation has forced upon the corporation a state of hopelessness or helplessness? Isn't the majority entitled to act to save the situation? By the way, when these 27 members out of the 32-member House defects, leaving only 5, aren't the 5 entitled to act to uphold and protect the law? Since it is reasonably unthinkable that the defecting 27 members would ever give effect to the provisions of Section 1091G of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria of 1999 as amended. Well, there is no doubt that the 27 lawmakers are the ones who had voluntarily given their opponents the weapon with which to fight the 27 lawmakers. Thus, I will agree with the respected son, Femi Falana, that the defection of these 27 lawmakers was ill-advised, self-defeating, and counterproductive. Now, to resolution of this matter, our humble opinion is, we think that if these affected 27 or 25 lawmakers believe their seats have not become vacant, they should explore the legal opportunity provided by Section 272, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which provides as follows. Subject to the provisions of Section 251 on other provisions of this Constitution, the Federal High Court shall have jurisdiction to hear and determine the question as to whether the term of office of a member of House of Assembly, a governor or deputy governor has ceased or become vacant. End of quote. The court will then examine all issues and award relevant redress or others that it may deem necessary, fit, and just in the circumstances. It is respectfully submitted that the State High Court can also have jurisdiction in this matter. We can admit that the legal discussions are intricate, complex, and many issues need to be examined on both sides. Meanwhile, we urge all lawyers as custodians of the rule of law to approach the matter with an open and objective mind while facing reality as it is. On our own part, as much as we need further education on the legal issues, I think we should write further to give a detailed legal opinion on this matter. And as much as legal authorities as we're able to have access to, we continue to bring to the public the issues that are actually being experienced in Rivers State. And again, Divine, you know, we can go on about the constitutionality of this thing. Most of the lawyers, the reason why I said the legal issue, the legal opinion, and so much case law cited that needs people that are in this jurisprudence should deal with, we think that most of them seem concerned with either trying to catch a brief with either Wike side-led assembly or trying to catch the brief on the side of the Fubara-led administration, but not coming openly to address the issues that are there. Always talking about, oh, all issues must go to court. This issue of the defection is not about court, you understand? It's about the pronouncement as provided by the Constitution.
Yeah, it's about the law particularly, and you've raised the point about the fact that a lot of people that are approaching this conversation are approaching it based on political, you know, viewpoints. They are always standing, some are doing, we're pro-Wike, some are, we're pro-Fubara. But the truth is that the law has to take its full course, and by the analysis of people who know their onions when it comes to legal issues, the fact is that the fact that they, you know, defected to a new party last minute, it was a very ill-advised move, because I was just wondering whose advice or whose idea was it for them to move to another...
Wike, of course.
Okay, but I wouldn't know that. I'm just saying that it was not really a good advice to take, because now you've given them ammunition to actually shoot you in the leg. So particularly, we need to look beyond the political undertones in all of this drama and actually look at the fact that some people had actually went against the rule of law. And the fact that they're in the majority makes it harder to actually talk about it now, because it's like majority were in a democracy democracy, this is majority rule, right? But if the majority of the people are actually doing the wrong thing, who can we count on to actually uphold the law? So the truth of the matter is that these 27 people, even though they are in the majority, they are not acting according to the dictates of the law. So we can't trust them to do the right thing in this particular situation.
And the law is not about the majority of on the numbers when we talk about majority. It is about the people who are properly constituted in that House of Assembly. So as you recall, about I think 4 of them passed the law that is working for Rivers State right now, as in the appropriation law signed into law, the act signed into law. And again, it's still another 3 now that are confirming different other things that are happening there. Okay. So why can't they all I mean, all these lawyers that go about in our mainstream media talking, why they can't go in and, you know, see how they could be able to resolve this issue, whether it is in the court matter or not, but go head on to it. You have 27 people who are said to be sitting separately. Right. And so many things are happening in that River State, as maybe tomorrow we hear that this, the assembly quarters will be pulled down by Fubara. And again, another so much talk will be going on. Why can't they act now? Whether it is through the court or not through the court, but to go in there and wage that war.
Well, I think the answer is really simple to that. I think they're playing stomach infrastructure politics with it, to be very honest. They know what it is that they're meant to do. They're meant to act as, you know, a mediator, to be able to go, you know, listen to both sides of the people involved and actually prefer solutions. But now they've made it about politics. It's about Wike versus Fubara. So everybody is picking sides. So the point is that these legal advisors and our lawyers and the people that should be, you know, taking, you know, reconciliatory measures to make sure that they restore law and order have taken the political routes, and now they are now playing the politics of this is who I stand with and this is who I stand with. So that is the reason why they are not, you know, doing the right things that are necessary. Okay,
I think at this very point, that is where we need to call it breaks on Rivers, but we need to bring you that our opinion here dwell mainly on the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and clearly we're trying to bring it up to everybody who wishes to listen, and what the Constitution provides, that there is no provision that these 27 members must go to court, or there is such a court order before such declarations will be done as per people who had vacated their seats. It does not require a court order, and that is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And for the quoted ones, please, you can go in to those sections that we have brought in to check if that is what the Constitution says. Go to the comment section. Of course, lay your comments and your opinions, and of course, we take advisory. Well, before we get off the studio at this very point in time, I want to also assure you that we're waiting for reports from Wike's reaction, as we have reached out to Abuja, and it seems that a media chart of Wike is eminent. I know Channels Television, I know AIT, and all of those people, he always put them together, you know, to come over to his office and then to do what he normally speaks. Well, those guys wouldn't mind, because I'm very much sure that with their caliber of journalists they cannot step into that very office without some sort of, you know what I mean, maybe mail in envelopes and all of those things. And of course, listening to him and asking questions. If that is the job, well, that is the job done. And for those of us who are asking questions on River State, if Wike loses that stronghold that is trying so hard to get grab in River State, he loses where he is, and of course the votes that will come their way in 2027. You're talking about more than 2 million votes, of course. So we know where this is all headed. Until we come back your way again. Bye for now.